Good evening, everyone. Thanks very much for waiting. Thanks for, basically holding on for the delay. We have started a little bit late tonight, but, internet worries. It went down completely, couldn't get online. Then all of a sudden, as soon as I put the tweet out to say I have to cancel this, we don't have to cancel it. The internet comes back up. So good times. Obviously heading into Gameweek 9, the international break is almost over. The Amazon Prime Video fixtures have been announced. Boxing Day has 4 fixtures, I think. I don't know if they're all live, but 4 different time slots. So lots of football over Christmas, but we probably don't need to worry about that just yet, but soon. How are we all? How do we enjoy the international break? Obviously haven't streamed for a little while. Last stream would have been like a week and a half ago now. Been a few videos on the channel. But yeah, back to the streams, which I'm happy about. I do miss doing the streams. I like having the break, but also like doing them at the same time. So it's nice to have an enforced break, but then also nice to get them back. So I'm sure we'll get on with any questions and stuff you guys have got. A lot of people asking about Son. Obviously put that in the title. Bit of panic for me. Would he start? Will he not? Should we get rid of Pukki? As I said on the preview this week, has it really come down to Wilson versus Abraham for the captain? No Sterling, no Aguero, no Salah or Mane, no Aubameyang against Sheffield United. Surely there are options. So we'll discuss that as well. And yeah, we'll go to your questions. Before we jump into that, we do have a new sponsor now. Long-term sponsor as well. One Football. And they said to me, Andy, we want to sponsor you. I said, why? And they said, it's just the great production value you have on your stream. So, look at this. Lovely, plain, boring, purple background. Description, sponsored, below. And to be fair, a little video to show you the app. So, it's a free app. For FPL Manager, it's pretty cool because you can set whichever teams you want to track and get kind of push notifications for that. So if you want to just track the teams in the Premier League or just the teams for players you've got hold of, so if you've got Mount and Abraham, you check Chelsea, you get live scores, team news, all that cool stuff. So if you want to download One Football completely free, link is in the description below. Thanks very much to them. Thanks very much to them for sponsoring. Like I said, if you want to download it and check it out, it's completely free. The link is in the description below. Alright, here we go. Joe's got One Football. Nice. How'd you find it, Joe? If you do find it good, hit me up on a tweet and let me know. Harry's got One Football. It's pretty good. Alright, well, you don't need me to tell you about it. Everyone in the chat will tell you about it. Okay, let's talk about FPL. This is my team for this week. Let me turn this music up a bit. Oh, a bit loud. Okay, so this is my team. I'm currently captain Abraham. And as I've said since probably the last stream, I think, like a week and a half ago, I just don't see that changing. I'm not going to captain Salah against Man United. I'm not going to captain Sterling, I don't think, against Crystal Palace, although he probably would be my second choice, even though I've got Mount vice captain. Other issues, is Son going to start? I don't even think he's back from international break yet. So he's only going to get back to Spurs tomorrow. That's Friday. The game is... I don't even know when the game is off the top of my head. I think it's Saturday because it's Arsenal Monday and Man United Sunday. Yeah, so Spurs game is 3 o'clock on Saturday. Now that doesn't mean 100% that Son's not going to play. To be fair, Spurs are not having the best of times right now. So they're going to want to probably play as many as their best players as they can, get a win, get some confidence back, maybe get that kind of confidence rolling into the next game. But Son is only going to get back from international break tomorrow. So it is a little bit of a worry. I think if you own Son, I'm gonna keep him. I'm not going to get rid of him. Unless we hear 100% that he's out, then I'll probably look to get rid. Not quite sure who yet. I'll have to think about that. But I think you start him and hope for the best. He could start. I think the thing for me is he's just not a captain option. So originally I wanted to get in Son this week, or for this week, for captaincy, and then in game week 12 as well when they play Sheffield United at home. But obviously a couple of things went wrong with that. Spurs decided to be awful, and then I knew the international break was probably going to be a problem as well. So Not going to captain him this week, but I think Abraham and Chelsea in general have just done so well this season so far. His stats are really good. He's in form. The fixture's pretty good as well. I'm happy to captain him. So Son, I'm going to keep. Being a Man United fan is screwing your judgment. They are awful. Mane and Salah are great choices. Are they awful though? I think the thing with Man United, and someone said this on one of the comments on the YouTube video, right? Yeah, agreed. Results awful for Man United. Not denying that. But when you captain a player, you're preferably hoping for a haul, right? You're not just hoping for one goal. You're not just hoping for 7 points. You're hoping for 10 plus points. Could Mane and Salah do that? Sure, they could. Man United have not conceded more than 2 goals in the game at all this year. So 1 against Newcastle, 1 against Arsenal, 2 against West Ham, none against Leicester, 1 against Southampton, none against Chelsea, 1 against Wolves. They're not conceding that many goals. Defensive stats are pretty good. No David De Gea, great point, but Romero is one of the best number 2s in the league. So that doesn't actually worry me too much. So look, Liverpool will win that game. I'm sure they will. But it's away from home. You know, it's not like Liverpool are at Anfield. So I don't think... I don't know. I pretty much never captain a player in a top 6 game. So it's not really a Man United thing. It's a top 6 thing. So that's why I don't. That's why I won't be captaining Salah or Mane this week. Sure, Liverpool will probably win the game, but will they put more than 2 goals past Man United? Possibly. If they go 1 or 2-0 up, I think basically, my thinking is if Martial's not there, for example, we don't know if he's going to be fit yet. I mean, obviously, I know we keep hearing he's back in training, but whether or not he's actually going to start, we don't know. But let's say they go 1 or 2-0 up, Liverpool. They've got the team to defend that lead. Is Man United the top 6 club? You know what I mean, though, right? You know what I mean. Yeah, fair enough, mid-table right now. But look, underlying stats are good for defence. Now, yes, we've not played Man City or Liverpool, two of the best attacking sides in the league, if not the 2 best. But that's why I'm not captaining them anyway. And I can't imagine a lot of people are. So I don't think it's just a me thing. I don't think it's just a Man United thing. You know, it could be Sterling, De Bruyne, or Aguero playing Man United. Still wouldn't captain them. So that's why I'm not doing it. If you think that's a good fixture, if you think De Gea being out means Man United are going to get smashed, go for it. Do I think Salah will play? I think Liverpool will do everything they can to get him playing, yeah. They're going to want that win. And he starts most games when he's fit. Is Yarmolenko captain differential? As bad as Everton have been, I'm not sure I like that. Well, I'm never going to captain Yarmolenko realistically. Man United don't come that close to passing the eye test, although I don't know. I'm thinking about the matches I've seen. Have they been good? Obviously, the Chelsea game was probably a bit lucky. I think Chelsea had like 18 shots and got nothing. But yeah, I mean, the problem with Man United, and I don't want to keep talking about Man United too much, is going forward they're just awful. And obviously that doesn't strictly matter for defensive returns, but if you're not causing the opposition problems and you're losing the ball, you're not keeping possession, and Man United have been really poor at that recently, then you are going to invite attacks basically from the opposition. So yeah, look, like I say, if you think Man United are that bad, captain Salah and Mane. Simple as that. So am I losing patience with Sterling? To be honest, I'm not really. Like my first thought process is, and sometimes I feel like the way I play FPL or the way I manage my team these days is I'm pretty patient, right? If I sell Sterling, who am I getting in? Mane, maybe. I'll be up for that in a few weeks potentially, but right now, I'm not sure it's something I want to do this week because Crystal Palace away. Granted, I'm not sure that's a great fixture. Then it's Villa and Southampton at home. Then I can reassess because after that it's Liverpool, Chelsea, Newcastle, Burnley, Man United, Arsenal. Not to say that Man City won't win all those games, but it gets a bit tricky for them. So I think Sterling's probably got 3 fixtures, and then I'll check again. Will Sterling start at the international break? Quite possibly. We don't know for sure, of course. Newcastle can be stubborn. They can. I pulled a few stats on the preview video that I did. And they've not been great away from home. They have had some pretty tough fixtures, to be fair. But, you know, they kind of capitulated against Leicester. Yes, it was down to 10 men, but they could do that against Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea only scored 2 less goals than Liverpool so far, which is pretty decent. I should say as well, there's 4 polls. If you want to vote on them, click in the top right-hand corner, click that little eye, and vote on them. And obviously, give the stream a like if you're enjoying it. Subscribe if you are new around here. How long will I persist with Pukki? Good question. This is a tough for me. I think it depends on your team. Like for me, obviously my value is not great. We all know the story behind that. I don't have any money to just. Oh my god! Hang on a sec. Yeah, I don't have the money to upgrade Pukki basically, so I can't get Wilson. And Wilson would be the one that I want. There's more pay potentially at Brighton, who I could go for, or there's Jimenez, same price. I don't think Jimenez has changed price. Let me just double check. I don't see why he would have. Yeah, still 7.1. So I could do a straight swap to Jimenez. The thing for me is I don't with Pukki. Now these are the fixtures. Let me just check if they're coming up okay. Yeah, these are the fixtures. Can you see them? Yeah. I don't know. Are they that good? Bournemouth away, to be fair, conceding a lot of chances, Bournemouth. Fair enough. Man United, again, like, we're not going to go back into the Man United discussion. Would I expect Norwich to score a lot of goals in that game? Possibly not. Yes, they did do well against Man City. So it could be a good fixture. But are Norwich going to improve? That's the thing. Pretty much, apart from expected goals, Pukki's stats are all kind of down from the last 4 versus the first 4. Like 11 shots on target in the first 4 fixtures, 4 in the last 4 fixtures. So I'm not sure if Bournemouth is the greatest game, although their defence isn't great. Brighton away is also tough. Watford at home is decent. That's probably right now looking at it on paper, Watford's the decent one, but that's another 4 fixtures away. So can we really hold him that long? The problem for me is, again, this is for my personal team. It's hard to answer every single variation of what players people own or whatever, or what money you have in the bank. But these are Wilson's fixtures. So I'm asking myself, are they good? And I think, well, Norwich at home is really good. Watford away has been Watford has been a decent fixture to play against, although I do think their stats are probably slightly better than the performances they've put in. Man United at home, again, I don't think it's a great fixture, but Bournemouth have caused problems against Man United at home before. And then Newcastle away, again, Newcastle I think is okay, but away maybe not so much. So I think Wilson's fixtures are slightly better. So if I had the money to straight swap, I probably would. Now the way I can do it is Salah to Mane, Pukki to Wilson, but a hit to take out Salah and Pukki just doesn't sound like a good option to me. Taron, on wildcard, keep Son for one more game week. I'd probably wait and see what Pep says about De Bruyne. If Pep's available, probably just go for De Bruyne. Given that you convert Pukki to Wilson or Abraham in most cases, no brainer to dump. Again, yeah, if I had the money just to get Wilson in, I would just do it, I think. I mean, Norwich at home is a pretty sweet fixture. In fact, if I bought Wilson in, I'd probably maybe captain him ahead of Abraham. I think that is really close. Again, went through it on the preview. Do think it's close. So that's something I considered. But then if I want De Bruyne in next week, then I've got to take a hit for that as well. So two hits in 2 weeks. Not sure. I think given that it's Bournemouth away, and I don't want to get suckered into just one more week syndrome, which could happen easily with Pukki. But Bournemouth away is probably an okay fixture to hold him for. But it is 4 blanks in 5. I feel like people are starting slowly to come around more to selling him. But at the start of the international break, there was a lot of talk about, he's cheap. We shouldn't worry about it. But this is rubbish. There's cheap and then there's rubbish. There's cheap and good. There's cheap and rubbish. And Pukki has been cheap and rubbish. Josh King is an alternative. I mean, I could get him in. I think I'd basically be getting King because I can't afford Wilson, of course. So that kind of, I don't kind of like it because of that, really. But yeah, you could put him in. Obviously, same fixtures, and it would drop some money as well for me, which would help me do Son to De Bruyne. So it's not the worst shout, to be honest. I might have to give that some consideration. If you watch the Norwich games, you would see that they were still incredibly attacking. 31 shots, you believe. Aston Villa are more assured at the back than Bournemouth. Yeah, but not if they're conceding 31 shots. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. I mean, Aston Villa might have had 31 shots. How many did Pukki have? Let me have a look. Last game week. Or current game week. I feel like, I feel like it's just a money thing for me. If I had the money for him, I would get him out. If I had the money to get rid of him, sorry. Where art thou, Pukki? Here he is. Now, I've not checked whether Pukki, how many shots Norwich had. So he had 2. He had 2 shots against Aston Villa. That's it. You're telling me Norwich had 31 and he had 2? That doesn't seem right at all. Let me see. Unless I got the wrong game. Total attempts. Norwich had 21. 21 attempts, 15 in the box. Pukki only had 2. Who the hell was shooting? I don't know. It doesn't look good to me. And I know I keep sounding like a broken record, but he's not that cheap either. 7.1 million I paid for him. Should we just ignore Vardy's underlying stats and just get him? I mean, yes, basically. If you think that Vardy's a good option going forward because of fixtures, he's going to score, etc., just get him. He's not one of those players that has fantastic underlying stats, but he's pretty clinical when he gets his chances. Leicester in general are right down the bottom of the table for creating chances or having shots in the box and stuff like that. Leicester for the whole season, I think they're bottom for the whole season. And they're 3rd worst for the last 4, off the top of my head. So, yeah, not good. But obviously, I think they've scored the 4th amount of goals though still. So, make of that what you will. I think Vardy is fine. I know I keep saying this. I think he's a good pick. He's probably a better pick than Kane, Aubameyang right now for the price saving. But then I think you can come down again. You can get the likes of Abraham and Wilson for even less money. Pukki has 8 goal involvements this season, more than Salah, Mane, Sterling, etc., and costs a fraction of the price. You're absolutely right. I think the difference is I know that Sterling, Mane, and Salah will keep up. Will get points in the coming weeks. I have very little doubts about that. Not so sure about Pukki, and obviously we have transfers, right? Pukki is basically the same price as Mount and has 2 more goals and 2 more assists. Just saying, yeah, no, fair points indeed. I think the thing with Mount, obviously he started every game, so maybe you could say he should have more points. But when you boil it down to actual points, right? So you can look at goals, assists, etc. Pukki has 54, Mount has 46, so he's not that far behind. And obviously started off against Man United, Leicester, Liverpool played as well. To be fair, Pukki has played Liverpool and Man City, so it's not the worst shout. But I just think Chelsea are scoring so many goals, and the fixtures are pretty good coming up. I just got no interest in getting rid of Mount. And if I get rid of Mount, it's all well and good comparing Pukki and Mount, but they play in different positions. So if I get rid of Mount, who am I getting rid of him for 6.6 million? Would I be saying the same if Salah had put the same stats as Pukki this season? Not sure if that's aimed at me. I'm not really sure what you mean, to be completely honest. Let's have a look. How about Leicester vs Liverpool being moved? Great for Armchair's subscribers. Yeah, same as always. Good for those that go to the game, which kind of sucks. And my centre boy Sterling captain, not massively. Hudson-Odoi, okay, loads of people talking about him. I actually put up a poll about him. If you could just pick one right now, you know, you get FPL give you a completely free transfer to bring one into your team. Mount or Hudson-Odoi, who would you go for? Mount's been so good and was so cheap to start with. Obviously, similar price to what Hudson-Odoi started with. Gone up quite a lot. They kind of got a bit of soft spot for him, want to keep him. But obviously, Hudson-Odoi is exciting. Good form as well. 2 assists already for Chelsea. Good performance for England as well, under 21s. Cheaper price now as well. So I'd be pretty tempted to go for him and just save the money if I was wildcarding right now, to be honest. I don't really have too much more to say about Hudson-Odoi. We don't have too many games to go on. We don't know if he's going to continue this form. You know, if he gets a run of games, will he be able to keep up kind of the excitement levels, the performances that we've seen from him? You know, we don't have a lot to go on. He's not played a lot of games for Chelsea already. Prediction for United vs Liverpool. Cheers, Scott. I don't know if I want to make a prediction. I mean, Liverpool probably win that game. If someone gave me money to put a bet on right now, who do I think will win? You know, it's going to be Liverpool. A lot will depend on the team Man United put out, of how many players they got back from injury, etc. It's at home though. I don't expect Man United to get battered. It could happen, I suppose, but I'm not expecting it. I'd say if Martial, I can't remember who's out. Pogba's definitely out, isn't he? So that's going to be a bit of a killer. If Martial's back, we might nick a goal, but Liverpool probably win 2-0. Given Barkley did well for England, any Mount rotation danger? I'm not really worried about that, to be honest. I think for Chelsea, Mount is Lampard's boy, and he's been so good for Chelsea. How could they let him go? Liverpool have lost one of their last 46. Yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting Liverpool to lose. I think the best Man United probably hoping for is a draw at this point. Chelsea had problems scoring versus Newcastle in the past. Yeah, probably. Different manager this season for Newcastle. Different team for Chelsea. They're scoring goals all over the shop. Vardy or about? I'd probably just go Vardy and save the money personally. You still believe in Richarlison? I mean, that is a name I feel like I've not heard for ages. I couldn't even tell you. Everton are just doing so badly this year. I couldn't even tell you what fixtures they have. West Ham at home, Brighton away, Spurs at home, Southampton away. It's pretty mixed. Their performance has not been great. But, I mean, if you've got faith, absolutely keep him. Opinion on Traore. I really need to see. I don't know. I don't like holding. Not grudges. I don't like holding bias against players. But I'm definitely biased against Traore, not in a good way. He's one of those players that you watch him play a lot. And he can run, for sure. It's about that end product. Now, 2 goals against Man City will help with confidence no end. But I think he scored them from 2 shots. And that's pretty much all he's had. So I would want to see a bit more from him. To be fair, 5 million is not too much risk. Do I want Traore as a 4th midfielder though, playing week in, week out, or even a 5th midfielder playing week in, week out? Not so sure, to be honest. Is Alisson returning this week? We don't know for sure. We might get word in the press conference tomorrow. It sounded like they were doing everything they could to get him fit and ready for tomorrow, though, for the weekend. Traore is a right wing, but hasn't he been playing more like right midfield though? I think I checked that out on Transfer Market. The last Liverpool player to score from open play at Old Trafford was Christian Benteke. Wow, if that's true, that's interesting. Is that right? I mean, it could be right. That's what I'm saying. I don't expect Man United to get battered. Penalty maybe though. Milner off the pitch. Salah gets the penalty. Romero saves it. Mane gets the rebound. You never know. Morpay or Pukki? I think for the next 3 I'd probably just take a bit of a gamble on Morpay. Nice little differential. Updates on Barnes and Cantwell. I don't think we've got... I think Barnes... I saw something about him. I don't know if we've had anything about Cantwell. Maybe someone in the chat can say. I saw something about Barnes. He's got a tight groin, so we'll have to make a judgment call on those two. So it's not a no. Make it that what you will. We don't know, basically. I think Bolly's a decent little shout, I think. If you think Wolves will get some clean sheets. Howard with the £2. Wilson just making a statement and an observation. Wilson at home in form, Pukki away and misfiring. Like I say, Wilson absolutely. Again, but for my personal team, I have to take a hit to fund Pukki to Wilson. I have to find 0.8 million from somewhere. It pretty much has to be Salah, I think, that goes for Mane. And I'm not sure I want to take that hit. If I really didn't have a captain that I liked, then I might do it and just bring in Wilson. Did I say Son will be out? I basically said there was a very high chance of it happening, him not playing this game, and then brought him in anyway because I'm an idiot. But he might play, and if he does, it's Watford at home. Absolutely could be points in that. Yeah, Son's not back from Korea. I mean, that is a problem. He has to kind of be in England to play. So fingers crossed that happens soon. Tessa, your next 3 transfers are Connolly, El Ghazi and Bolly. I like it. Different. I mean, Connolly, to be fair, two good goals against Spurs. Full of confidence. Going to be hard to drop now. Also, got into the Ireland squad. He actually started the last Ireland game as well. Didn't do anything of note, to be fair. I mean, Ireland didn't really do anything of note at all, to be honest. But I mean, he's got to be full of confidence now. It's going to be hard to drop for the next game. I think. I mean, there might be some Brighton fans in here who can tell me more, but you know, is he guaranteed to start the next game? I'm not sure. But it's 4.5 million. He's definitely the best 8th attacker right now. Is Mesut Ozil getting mistreated at Arsenal? What are your thoughts? There's a really good article. Let me find it if you want to read it. By Adam at 35who. He basically says, is the number 10 position dead? I'll link it in the chat if you want to check that out. Yeah, I don't know about Ozil. It's hard to know without knowing the ins and outs of Arsenal. You'd think at some point they might want to create a midfielder like him, but does he do enough for the team? Is he going to chase back? Is he going to press? Does he fit into their current formation? I don't know. I feels like he's a much better player than not starting most weeks. But if he just doesn't fit with the manager, that happens sometimes. It sucks, but I don't know. I don't know the real reasons for why he's not in the squad, to be honest. Potter seems less inclined to play old man Murray. Wants to play nice football on the floor. Yeah, absolutely. I think Morpay for sure is gonna keep starting going forward. Obviously, there's always a chance through fixture congestion that he might play. Murray, and obviously Murray's got a lot of experience, etc., which will definitely help for those kind of matches. But Morpay is going to start most games. Will that be alongside Connolly? Quite possibly. It does look like Connolly can play kind of off to the left as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be central. But again, we've not really seen much of him. The only thing I know is he used to play for a club pretty close to where I live. He's kind of burst onto the scene. Is Aguero fit for the game versus Palace? All the news I've seen is he was in a car crash, but wasn't hurt, supposedly. So we'll have to wait for the press conference, but it sounds like he'll be okay. Getting an Amazon Prime subscription for Boxing Day. I will, yeah, for sure. For sure. Trossard coming back might hurt Connolly. Yeah, possibly. How far away is Trossard? He's like almost burst onto the scene. He burst into a few people's teams, then scored and got injured. 75% chance of playing, so he could be back soon. They got some okay fixtures coming up, but only for like 3 game weeks. Villa away, Everton at home, Norwich at home. But then it's United away, Leicester at home, Liverpool away, Arsenal away. It gets pretty horrible pretty quick. That's one of the things putting me off Morpay. It's not like he's got 3 good fixtures and then mixed fixtures. They're just 3 good fixtures and then pretty bad fixtures. I tell you what's rubbish. Danny Mills, combined Liverpool-Man United team. Now don't get me wrong. No one asked about this, by the way. It's almost like those tweets where it says no one. And then Andy starts talking about this. Fair enough, Liverpool would be the majority. But Paul Pogba makes it into that team. And I do wonder, I mean, Matip's been pretty good. But would Liverpool fans take Maguire next to Van Dijk if he could get him for free? Maybe. But other than that, it is pretty grim reading. But to have no Man United players, to not have Pogba, come on. No matter what you think about Pogba, he's good. Anyway, there you go. Just before I get someone said something which reminded me of that, even though they didn't say that at all. You use points instead of wildcard. Just use your wildcard. Just make another transfer and click use wildcard or whatever it says. Play wildcard. Is Daniel James tempting after Liverpool stay clear of him? I would say I don't think so right now. Man United kind of, again, like there's obviously a difference between results to getting FPL players into how many points are going to be scored against them. But for me, I wouldn't go for Daniel James. Look, he did really well start of the season, some great goals. But the problem with scoring goals like that is they're not sustainable. Now, he was having quite a few shots in the box, but just not for me right now. I don't think so, even after Liverpool. I want to see some consistency from Man United. I want to see everyone fit. I want to see him starting week in, week out. Like, Martial is just such a problem with injuries. If he goes out again, then Rashford goes up front. And, you know, I'm not even convinced that Rashford number 9 is his best position. I think a lot of people would agree from the left is probably better. Then who plays up front if Martial's injured? Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Come on. If everyone's fully fit, on top form, Pogba makes it into that Liverpool side. Don't even try and convince me otherwise. Maguire versus Matip, fair enough. You can go for Matip. I wouldn't argue that strongly. But Pogba makes it in. Come on. Not having it. Don't forget the polls and Patreons. Of course, yeah, don't worry. Polls are ready to go in about 15-20 minutes. So if you want to vote on them, click on the little I. We'll definitely do the Patreon shoutouts now, though. Did I change it? David De Gea versus Alisson. I think that's quite close, to be honest. I wouldn't argue. You could have De Gea, you could have Maguire instead of Matip and Alisson. I don't know how strong of an argument I would put up, but Pogba, come on. Anyway, thanks to Business Cat. We'll do it now. So yeah, thanks. Big shout out to the Patreon supporters for all the time, not just this month, but all the producers are on screen now, so thanks very much for your continued support. Lots of chat going on the Slack channel over the international break, so if that's something you're interested in, you want to support the channel a bit more, links are in the description below. New Patreon as well this month, Adrian K. We should have had the Slack invites sent and stuff already done. And yeah, October League is ongoing. I think we've only had like 1 week or something. I think the reason Business Cat are on me is because he is top, 56 points, but still a couple of game weeks to go. So we'll see what happens there, and obviously new league codes will go out in November. So if you want to check out Patreon, click the link in the description below, and I'll get Slack invites out as soon as possible to anyone that signs up, and then league codes will go out in November as well. So make sure to take a look at that. Yeah, I don't want to sidetrack the stream too much over Pogba thing, but I'm not having it. Dean, hopefully be inside the top 1k after this weekend. Oh, that is dreamland, especially this early on. Absolutely lovely to be that high. I'm 245k. It's rubbish, I know, but come on, we can get higher. All I need is Son to bang a hat-trick, Abraham to bag a hat-trick, Pukki to score a hat-trick, and then I'll be at least in the top 230k. There's like 20 people to join next weekend, not going to be top for long. Yeah, there's a good few people. You can do it though. Come on, you can do it. Have faith in yourself. Mandzukic to Man United. I don't even want to talk about it. Let's talk about FPL. Is Jimenez versus Wilson over the long term closer than we think? I mean, I don't know. If you think Wolves are going to improve, if you think, you know, kind of Europa League's not going to get in the way, Jimenez is going to do well. I mean, he's looked pretty good recently. The fixtures are okay. I think I'd choose Wilson. I think the thing with Wilson, it's not even like a knee jerk or anything. Before, there's no mug, by the way. You know that, right? Don't wanna spoil it for you. There's currently no mugs. I can maybe bring that back at some point. Anyway, we'll talk about that. DM me on Slack. What we're going to talk about? Wilson. Yeah, people, you know, talked about how good his stats were last year, how good his points per game were last year, how good his price was, and that even at 8 million, he might actually be a good pick. And then a few of us had him at the start of the season, and he's carried it on. So he's just done what I think actually people expected him to do. Just circumstances were that he was about to play Man City, and people wanted to get Pukki, and he just scored a hat-trick. So I think Wilson's got to be one of the... You know, it's hard to look past Abraham right now. Fixtures, form, amount of goals, Chelsea scoring, etc. But Wilson's probably like... You know, if I had to pick for 3-4-2, two strikers right now, given value, money, etc., I'd probably just go Abraham Wilson. Yeah, you're right, actually. He's not... I don't know, safe... I sometimes hate the word safe because it's used in like a derogatory is the wrong word, but you know what I mean. It's viewed as bad to make a safe pick. I don't know if he's safe, but he's consistent. He always does well when he's fit. He obviously has had injury worries in the past, but yeah, when he's in the team, Bournemouth will create chances. It's how they play. He'll be right up there, and he'll get points. And who wouldn't be surprised if we got a brace or a hat trick this weekend? What's up, Stefanos? Am I not worried about Son and Sterling? I mean, Sterling absolutely not, and I want him long term anyway. Son, yes, I am worried. Otamendi will come on, and hopefully I'll have a clean sheet there. Yeah, I don't mind the term safe. Like I use it myself, I'm sure, all the time. It's just I think it has like negative connotations, even though it shouldn't do. Because essentially, you have someone will say Wilson's a safe pick, and then the negative connotations are he's safe, it's boring. But then really you're saying he's safe because he scores points. And what do we want in FPL? Kind of want points. You know what I'm saying. Any news on potential Bernardo ban? I don't think there has been. Am I going out without Kevin De Bruyne? I am. Look, will he even play? Probably. I'm not going to do it tonight, but I do think if I had to put a percentage on whether I would do Salah and Pukki to Wilson and Mane, I'd say it's probably veering more towards doing it than not. I feel like I've planted the seed in my own head now. I've said this before. Like I already know that I'm gonna do the transfer. I just haven't done it yet. And then I've gone and done it. I can't remember. I did that on a stream once where I actually came off stream and just did the transfer straight away. I feel like Pukki out for Wilson is getting closer. I'm not crying about Kevin De Bruyne. I think I've mentioned it enough. Look, it was a mistake. It kind of didn't follow my own advice. I knew I'd want him back. I knew there was a chance he'd only be out for one game week. I knew there was a chance Son wouldn't play this week. And I just made the move anyway in the hope that I'd get something against Brighton, that he might start against Watford as well. So yeah, I'm not gonna keep banging on about it. I will get De Bruyne back next week probably. You still feel Jimenez going under the radar versus Wilson has better fixtures and comes out better on the Fantasy Football Scout comparison tool and is cheaper. Let me have a look at their fixtures. Let me bring the fixtures up on the main screen. Because to be honest, I can't remember exactly what they are. I know they've got a pretty nice fixture this week. Yeah, so Southampton at home. I mean, so for me, again, we can say that Arsenal can't defend. They've got 2 clean sheets. The best team in the league's only got 3. So Southampton at home, fine. That's a nice fixture. I don't like the next 2 though. So I'd actually rather bring him in here if he's going to be good. Villa at home, decent. Bournemouth away could be decent. Looks like it might be good for Pukki this week. Sheffield United at home, okay. West Ham at home, okay. Then it gets a bit worse. So obviously, if you're someone that wants to get on early, get ahead of the price rises, then this is a good fixture. But I'm not sure about the next 2. Again, maybe I'm giving Arsenal too much credit. But 2 away fixtures to come, I don't know. Polls that are... I really need another screen. I need 3 screens. First world problems. I'll get one soon. What polls have we got? Yeah, good question. We've got, is it time to take Pukki out? It's actually recycled from the last stream. Don't think anyone noticed that. Your Gameweek 9 captain, is Salah and Mane double up viable? And you get to pick one right now. Would you pick Hudson-Odoi or Mount? I've seen some people say good comments. Okay, yeah, yep. I feel like I've missed a few comments, but I'll try and get back to them. Remember last year, Jimenez likes top 6 opponents. I know, it's different season though, isn't it? Wolves have not really been as good as they were last season. They've been fine. I don't know, I just don't have that draw to him this year at the moment. If Silva gets fired, the Everton players look more attractive. I mean, let's see if he gets fired. I don't think it's going to happen. If so, who comes in, I guess. Before I start worrying about whether I'm bringing in... whatever, Everton players. Anyone who took out De Bruyne should quit FPL. Look, there's a lot, like I said on Twitter, there's a lot of smug Kevin De Bruyne keepers, those that didn't transfer him out, and that's fair enough. All right, you made a good call, but you don't even know if he's going to play this week yet. There is a chance. There is a chance he starts from the bench, maybe a small chance. Who knows? Maybe I'm clutching at straws. I'm just hoping Son plays, to be honest. If Son plays and Kevin De Bruyne plays, then I'm happy, to be honest. Because then it says 1 game shootout. Who can get the most points? Job done. Is the Chelsea trip up a little risky? I don't think so, to be honest. I mean, I think Mount and Abraham. I think there's very little argument to those two not being a good option. So then you're looking at one more. So tomorrow, yeah, fair enough. Maybe Chelsea aren't defensively sound enough right now. Kante's injured. Let's see if Rudiger comes back, etc., etc. But if you go Hudson-Odoi, yeah, is there enough goals to go around? But you don't necessarily need all 3 of them to score every single week, or to get massive hauls every single week. And Hudson-Odoi is 5.9 million. I mean, for my team, for example, it'd be Hudson-Odoi instead of Yarmolenko. Would I be okay with that this week? I probably would. So I don't think Chelsea players are just too good value to worry about whether tripling up is bad or not. Who's more likely to keep a clean sheet? Lundstrom playing Arsenal. Who's playing? Oh, Tamori playing Newcastle tomorrow. Soyuncu playing Burnley. I mean, I wouldn't. Yes, it's a home game for Lundstrom, and the thing with obviously him is he's playing a more attacking role, so he could get attacking returns as well. But I'm not expecting a clean sheet against Arsenal. I don't think Arsenal necessarily score loads of goals, but I think they'll score. So it's Tamori versus Newcastle and Soyuncu versus Burnley. I feel Leicester's the better defensive team out of those two, but Newcastle's the worst attacking team. So I'd like to bet on Tomori, but I don't know how confident I actually would be in that. But I'm playing him ahead of Otamendi, so we'll see. Test I have De Bruyne. Yeah, if I wanted De Bruyne, I've actually only got to get 0.1 million. So I would probably do Diop to, I don't know, Kelly if he keeps his place, or Rico, someone like that. I haven't checked to see if there's any 4.4 million defenders out there worth getting. Watch out for Jetro Williams. I know all about him now, trust me. God damn that guy. Got the call today to rejoin LFC for the rest of the season. I thought you'd appreciate it. Oh, very nice. I thought you were already there, to be honest. Congratulations. That's really cool. I didn't think you'd gone. I thought you were still there. Would I captain Kane if I had him? Here's what I would say about Kane. I mean, obviously, if I had him, it would depend on what other players I've got, right? But it's Watford at home. Okay. Did okay for England. Obviously, not quite the same. But he did okay for England. Definitely going to play on penalties. If you're going to captain someone different, this is a pretty good week to do it. It's not like Salah and Sterling are going to have 0% captaincy, of course, but it is going to be down. I think the polls are pretty, the polls on the likes of Fantasy Football Scout and Twitter, etc., are pretty good for where a lot of the, dedicated FPL managers, for want of a better word, will be. And it does look like a lot are going to go Abraham and Wilson. So if you want to go Kane, there's a bit of a differential in a week where Salah and Sterling, etc., are not massively captained. I don't think it's the worst idea. What's the point of FPL? I mean, I could spend some time. I mean, I would have to ask, if that's your question, why are you watching a stream about FPL? Not that I don't want you to watch, but it just seems a bit weird for me. Yeah, like I wouldn't own Kane personally, and I don't think he's been great in the league, etc. And I wouldn't necessarily expect him to bounce back. I just think if you own him already and you're gonna captain him at some point, why not this week? Seems like the least risky time to captain him. That makes sense. Is it really worth taking Pukki out for Wilson facing a leaky ball with defence? The thing is, Wilson is facing an even leakier Norwich defence. So if you've got a free transfer and the money to do it, maybe it is worth it. If you have to take a hit, probably not so much. Any player in the world who would want to see in the Prem for the sake of FPL? Messi, of course. It's always going to be Messi. Mane going up in price. That's going to hurt me, to be honest, because I think once he does that, I can still get him. I can still take the hit. Here's the thing, though, for me. And here's another reason. Here's another reason. While doing the Wilson move this week might be okay. If Pukki blanks this week, right? I just don't see how I can hold on to him. So I would want to get rid of him. I would probably then still want Wilson. I would probably then need to do Salah to Mane to fund it. So that's 2 free transfers done. If I want De Bruyne back for Son, I cannot afford that in one. So I would have to make another transfer. So that's another 2 transfers. That's a -8. So that is no different to doing the -4 this week and then the -4 next week. So it's another reason why I'm pretty tempted to do it, especially if Mane's going to rise in price. I wish I had more money. I wish I had more value, more team value. There's always next season. How can FPL apply to real life, in your opinion? I think there's probably quite a few ways. Depending on your job and stuff, I suppose, in particular. But there's a lot of analysis you can do. Like, obviously, the thing with football, sometimes you just get unlucky, and sometimes you know, results go completely different to what you'd imagine. But obviously there's like data analysis, I don't know, remaining calm in tough situations, i.e. another red arrow for the fifth game in a row, fifth game week in a row. I'm sure there's loads of ways it could apply to real life. I've actually probably used more just playing FPL, but FPL related stuff in my personal life quite a bit actually. I think people would be interested in knowing, but I won't talk about it tonight. I'm just rubbish at answering those questions though. It's like philosophical questions and stuff. I don't articulate the answers well enough, I don't think. Patience is a virtue, yeah, patience is good. I do think I do like there's a lot of people I follow on Twitter who it's just the way they think about FPL is like much better than how I think about it sometimes. Like I sometimes miss the less obvious stuff. Like I get blinkers on a lot. I think of something I want to do, I'm gonna do it. I don't really look at the other options necessarily. And obviously sometimes I do and whatever, but there's some times where I don't. And I see people on Twitter and they'll say something, I think, oh, I've never even thought of that. You will end up doing nothing else in life. I disagree. Strongly disagree. What's up, Physio? Captain Tammy, everyone's on him. What do I think about Chambers? Is he 4.4 million? The thing with Chambers, right, and let me check before I say this. Has he not been playing right back? I know he played for one game because it was against Man United. It wasn't pretty. Well, they did okay in the end. I want to see, did he play all of them? Yeah, he's played right back the last 3 games. So that would be a concern for me because I don't think Bellerin is that far off now. In fact, he's not even flagged. So Bellerin could get some games for us. So will Chambers move to centre-back? Maybe, but I think it's just probably a little bit too much of a risk. Let's do the polls. I'll give you 1 more minute to vote on the polls if you haven't already. Click that little Y, we'll get it done. People who play FPL will be rich, we know how to spend and save. I wish that was the case. Would I play Cantwell or Yarmolenko? Is Cantwell past fit? Has he been past fit? I don't know if there's been a press conference today. I need to check. If Cantwell's fit and ready to start, I think you'd play him. I think Bournemouth's probably a little bit of a better fixture. Cheers, Jeff. Glad to hear it. Tierney, he's trained all week. Yeah, I think probably Cantwell. Am I going to upload this? Yeah, this is basically the streams are available straight away. Tierney, the next role. I'm really intrigued by Tierney. I mean, I'm putting a lot of faith in someone I've never seen play and hasn't played in the league at all. But I'm interested to see how he does. What was I doing? Polls. Okay, we'll do them. I just the panic that he might not start with Son. Okay. Is it time to take Pukki out? Like I said, recycled poll. Disgusting behaviour from myself. Not doing a new poll, but recycled. Is it time to take him out? 66% of you saying yes, 33% saying no. Get rid of him. I got to admit, I'm sat here. Like I said, I kind of know when I'm going to make a transfer, even though I haven't made it. I think I'm going to do Salah and Pukki to Mane and Wilson. Is Mane going to rise tonight? Because I can't really afford to keep losing any more money, given how awful my team value is. Oh, I could rise tonight. For a hit, though. Taking Salah out for a hit. Once it's done, though. Once it's done, it's done. I feel like it's like ripping off a plaster. Your Gameweek 9 captain. 51% on Abraham. I mean, it's Gameweek 9. 51% of you who have voted, like nearly 500 people, are Captain Abraham. What the hell's happened to FPL? Wilson is second, 20%. 71% of you captain either Abraham or Wilson. 15% captain in one of the City boys, Aguero, De Bruyne and Sterling. Only 4% on Salah and Mane. So it's not just me. Not just me that thinks that's not a good fixture. And 7% on someone else. You seem to have reluctance to Scottish players. No. I mean, in all honesty though, how many Scottish players have been... I mean, Charlie Adam was great. He was brilliant back in the day. But McTominay, Darren Fletcher, probably not going to get them. McGinn looks good. McGinn does look good, but I chose Yarmolenko. Tierney, I want him. Robertson had at the start of the season, etc. I've got no problem with captaining, putting Scots in even. Is Salah / Mane double up viable? Not for me, says 52% of you. Yes, in a couple of weeks, 41%. So that's pretty high actually. And then 5% saying yes right now. In a couple of weeks, it'd be interesting to see if people do it. Because obviously so many of us had double Liverpool defence. It wasn't even an option early on. But now I think, especially if Sterling blanks a few more times, I think people will make the move. You get to pick one right now. 79% still going for Mount ahead of Hudson-Odoi. Interesting. 21% for Hudson-Odoi. I think that Hudson-Odoi looks like it could be a great option for the price. But Mount's been so consistent. That's why people want him. And I don't think for that price there's many other good options in midfield. I know people were saying earlier about, Pukki not being that much more expensive than Mount, but you're looking at getting rid of Pukki but not Mount. But again, there's always circumstances around it. There's not really many options for Mount. There's lots of options at Pukki's price range, or price range-ish. McGinn has a tough round of fixtures after the Brighton game. That's basically why I got Yarmolenko, because McGinn had better early... short-term fixtures, Yarmolenko has slightly better longer terms. Longer term. Sorry, a lot of clearing of throats tonight. Alright, I think we're going to leave it there. One little more shout out to OneFootball. Free football app, team news, live scores, all that good stuff. If you want to download it, links in the description below, completely free. They have sponsored this stream. Thanks very much to them. Otherwise, we can spend a few minutes talking about whatever you want, FPL or otherwise. But I would say at this point, just so people know, most of the FPL stuff's over. So if you've only just tuned in, go back to the start and check it all out. If you're watching late on, or you're watching not live, you can just stop the stream now if you're not interested in all the other stuff that people hate. Marco, here we go. Here he is, the legend, Marco. Creator of the stream backgrounds. He's probably looking at this stream background now, because it's quite funny. You can always see, so Marco did all this stuff. It just looks clean, looks good, well done. And then I did this. That's why it's just a plain purple background. You can just see when he does stuff and when I do stuff. I love doing these videos. I love YouTube. I really want to grow it and stuff. I'm just so bad at design. So bad. Thanks for pronouncing Tierney properly. How else would it be pronounced though? Favourite brand of butter. We always get the same one. Some Irish one. I don't know what it is. I just know what it looks like when I go in the shop. I can't remember what it's called. Let me, I mean, this is what it's come to. We're watching an FPL stream and I'm about to Google butter brands in Ireland. So I can tell you what brand it is. Oh, is it Kerrygold? No, I don't think it is. See, it might be Kerrygold actually. It is in a brown pot like that. I think it's Kerrygold, to be honest. Yeah, no, I think it is. It looks about the same. How did you start your YouTube channel? So, I basically, on the 30th, I actually know because I didn't look it up, but I checked something else which prompted me to look it up. Well, I did look it up, but... so on the 30th of December 2016, I was basically bored at like 12:30, 1 AM. I think it was a Saturday morning. And I actually wanted to stream a video game and I couldn't get it to work. So I decided I'd just stream FPL instead. And that was it. I think, honestly, one of the things with growth is just be consistent. People, people know that on barring any technical hitches like tonight, I will be streaming at 9 o'clock on a Sunday. I will be streaming at 9 o'clock on a Thursday. And if people want to tune in and check out some FPL stuff at that time, they know I'm going to be there. And I think that's probably key for growing the channel. Twitter, I don't know, to be honest. Like I was chatting to someone at the start of the season saying I'm just getting followers from nowhere. I was just getting followers from nowhere, and I don't know, I wasn't really doing anything special on Twitter. I guess they just organically come from YouTube stuff. Will Tanner, your dad is top of the world. Nick Tanner, no way are you his son. I've seen all the interviews with him. For real? He's used all his chips though. Can he keep it up? You promised me you would buy a hat last season. No, I think you said buy a hat, and I said the problem with hats is, as you can see, my head is massive. So to get a hat that fits is really hard. Tatoes or King Chris? Probably Tato, but to be honest, I think they're overrated. I'd rather have a bag of Walkers. I'm sorry. I love Ireland. I just prefer Walkers. Alright. The gym has not been going great recently, to be completely honest. I went away, so I couldn't go. Then I got ill last week, so I couldn't go then. So I went. I went back yesterday. Really hurt. Like legs are proper stiff. Like it's the first time I've been. Well, it has been the first time I've been in 2 weeks, but it's like the first time I ever went. So I went really low weights. Gonna build it back up basically. So I haven't stopped going, which is good. So I just need to get back into it. Am I dressing up for the Halloween stream? No. When is Halloween actually? Obviously it's 31st. Oh, it's a Thursday. I have to see about that. Every time you bang your desk, your headphone... Do I bang my desk? I don't think I do I? Joe, probably not going to answer that. I live in Galway. What else have we got here? Expecting to hear a bit of Kevin De Bruyne fear of missing out. Actually wasn't that much, to be honest. I think if Sun starts, I'm okay with not having De Bruyne this week. But we'll see. Ma might love it or hate it. I like it, but it has to be like on a bit of toast, thinly spread. Can't have it too thick. Santa's pants. I mean, he has been recently, yeah. Vardy, Jimenez, Abraham up front. How does it look? Looks good. I really think, though, Jimenez, Abraham, Wilson could be just as good. Huh. I am indeed in the photo with Graham Souness, desperate to stop him. You'll stop him. Have you got your chips left? You'll be fine. Screenshot that. Yeah, you'll be fine. How is he loving the attention? I bet he is. Will I watch Ireland versus New Zealand? I probably will. We'll see. Don't know what time it's on. Kerrygold. It's quite funny watching people or seeing the chat when people are obviously behind. We stopped talking about butter 5 minutes ago, then I see a Kerrygold. If you had not been hacked, would Lacazette to start or Saka? I mean, Saka will probably get one more week. Maybe give Lacazette a 20-25 minute run out, possibly. Obviously impossible to predict for sure, but you'd think they'd be fine without him, so they probably wouldn't risk him back too soon. But I suppose it depends. If he's absolutely fully fit, could be no issue at all. Right. I'm going to leave it there, fully leave it there, FPL or otherwise. Does it happen that you go on holiday somewhere and someone stopped you? Hey, so that has happened, literally on holiday. So I've had like maybe 4 or 5 people come up to me, maybe 6, 7, trying to think. randomly. It's always awkward because I'm such an awful small talker. So I'm the problem. But yeah, I was literally in the pool on holiday in August or July or August this year, and someone come up to me in the pool, and it was so weird. Nice guy though. We just chatted about FPL for a bit. Although he recognised me from... he actually recognised my voice first. He recognised me from Scoutcast, actually. I think that's what he mostly watches. I can't remember his name. That's so bad. He's probably not watching anyway. He was filming in Liverpool FC today. Very nice. Very jealous. I want to be number one at some point. Number one in FPL. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Just want to tell you that little story. Yes, in the